And welcome back to the European Pro League for Smite. The EU kickoff LAN event has well and truly got underway. We're now in the grand finals. If you missed all the action earlier on, well, you missed two very, very good semi-finals. And SK Gaming and Team Coast Blue have made it through to the grand final. Jason's back with me. We were just watching the video.
I'm going to order now.
I am going to order now as well, but not by credit card. They like to have a bit of fun, these high-res guys. I'm liking this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the fun that they have outside of the game translate into game. I mean, the Swagny skin, the Raw America. It's nice to see a company that has kind of laid back, attitude about it. Has a good time, enjoys themselves. Does these really cool videos that the community can enjoy. And still, when it comes down to working, they're still hard workers.
Okay, enough of the fun and the nonsense. Down to the serious business. 1-0 right now. 21 minutes. If Team Coast, if we had any doubts that they could play anything other than passive, it's just been demolished.
Actually, that game was faster than the average time in the qualifiers between these four teams. So funny enough, great job by them. But it was a good game by Coast. And I was upstairs listening to some of the players talk, and they thought they had the game the entire time. Like after, I guess, the first 5 minutes, like they have it. But there was a couple of moments where SK really came back. A couple of Gold Fury area fights where SK got a couple of good trades out of 4-0 in the jungle as well. There was a weird fire giant kind of pickup out of nowhere. I
mean, do you think that was maybe just Team Coast just taking their foot off the accelerator a little bit and maybe risking a few things and just thinking, you know what, we know this game's ours anyway. If we lose out on the team, we're not too worried. But you're right, because there's a little bit of nervousness can creep in when that sort of thing happens.
Yeah, I mean, we always talk about this, being a good team versus a great team. Like, this is one of the things on an offline event. You're young, but you have to kind of push past that. Obviously, if you make a mistake, you have to look past that as well. I don't know whether it was just like a kind of a bump in the game. They're like, oh, we're really far ahead. We can go for something really crazy here. Or if that actually was a major mistake, or the opposite of that. SK, did they see an advantage that they could, or they'd say an opportunity they could take an advantage of? And well, they clearly did, but unfortunately, it wasn't enough to win the game.
It was a fast win. What does that do to SK's confidence and their mental approach in game two?
I always talk to players about this, and it comes into a weird answer. So the longer the game, and the more frustrating of a loss at the end, that hurts a team more than a quick win for another team or a quick loss, because they can look past it like, oh, we know what we did wrong. All right, forget it, move on to map 2. But if it was like a long, drawn-out 40-minute game and they lost because like one little mistake, they'd be annoyed, they'd be pissed off, and luckily for them, that didn't happen.
Okay, we're going to head into game 2, picks and bans in just a moment. Anything that stood out for? I mean,
the Fenrir, actually, we're talking to Sayo after the little bit of interview we did, and he said Fenrir was to counter Habwa, and did a pretty good job. I was really curious to see that. I don't know if it's going to be maybe ban-worthy. Maybe they're just not going to go for Habwa, but the Apollo worked out pretty well. I mean, everyone had a pretty good game.
Okay, all right. We'll find out whether they can have a pretty good game in game number 2, because Team Coast Blue versus SK Gaming is heading into match number 2, or game number 2 of our best of 5 match here in the grand final. So let's go back to our commentary team of Hinduman and Bart.
Thank you very much, Paul, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're just moments away from getting started into game number 2 in a best of 5. Coast Gaming with a tremendous amount of momentum coming into this one. SK Gaming maybe showing a little bit of slowing down after their break after beating Cloud9 this morning.
Do you know the biggest issue for me for SK Gaming in this game going into it, Bart, is the fact that they're pretty much well known for some of those picks that they had there. Captain
Indeed.
Twig on El Kwong. We also saw Zeros in the jungle on Tyr, and Badger on that Geb, and they're
premier pick
like,
for them.
That was premier pick, and for them not to do well with that and to go into a deficit, then SK Gaming must be like, what did we do with this game? Because that didn't work out.
Well, they're taking their time, certainly, on their first ban. We are moving into the picking and banning phase. Ladies and gentlemen, left side of your screen is Team Coast, right side is SK Gaming. Our first ban coming through is going to be Aphrodite.
I am not surprised Afro's been banned out. Both Maniac and Variety will pick that one who's available. Respect ban coming out from SK Gaming this time in the form of Ram against Shaggy Shank. So neither of these two teams want to face it. They're very smart. I agree. I think Ram's very strong.
I think Aphrodite has 100% ban rate in this tournament today. And I don't expect that to change.
I don't either. She provides so much to the team during the middle to the late game stages. Like, she provides good sustain, great damage as well, which a lot of people, but we always talk about how much healing she does, but the amount of damage that comes off from those doves and the back off as well, the reposition from that.
To borrow from DM, the damage is real.
The damage is real.
The damage is real. Ooh, a little bit of a different ban here from Coast. It's going to be Zhong Kui taken out of the God Pool.
Okay, so they don't want to see.
Well, they're forcing the Osiris ban, right? They're going to say, look, you have to ban Osiris, or we're going to first pick up.
That makes perfect sense. I totally agree with you. I mean, you can't leave Osiris on the table in this level, otherwise, both these teams will play Osiris, so it's got to be an Osiris ban here.
But if they leave Osiris, or they ban Osiris, it's going to be a first pick Habwa, most likely. So it's a tough choice here from SK. Do they give up the Habwa, or do they give up the Osiris? And it looks like they are actually going to elect to give up the Habwa here. And looking over at what Coast is taking a look at, however, it's going to be a snap pick onto Thor, and just like that, they've locked in a very dominant jungler.
They have, but I'm quite surprised Ninja Bobat didn't, wait a little bit longer, because he's got a deep god pool overall. I mean, people say he doesn't, but his Hombats was great, his Osiris is good as well. Hombats on the table, they want Thor, they want to take that one away from Zeros, so that's what it feels like more than anything. You wouldn't normally pick the jungler like that as quickly, unless you don't want to take it away.
You're right, but I would expect the return picks of Geb and Hubwa here from SK Gaming. Probably the two highest priority picks on the table at this point. But maybe they'll surprise us and go ahead and snag that Apollo before he can get banned out.
I agree with Geb.
It could be Geb Apollo, if not Geb Hubwa.
Well, right now, they're hovering over Ra on the screen right now. And Artemis, they're leaving Geb available. I mean, okay, maybe tomorrow doesn't want to play that. Tomorrow we'll probably go for Athena more than anything. He's been playing a lot of Athena this tournament, and no one's really tried to focus his god pool at all.
This is, to me, a pretty clear pick for Coast to go Arachne clearly now. Athena Apollo would be my assumption here for them.
Maybe for game 3 they'll go there. If
although they could go ahead and pick up the Chang'e to go up against the Ra early on, but it's likely to be the Apollo would be my expectation here. And they're taking a look at both of them and trying to decide if they want to lock them in. And no surprises here.
No, I mean, with the Apollo pick at the end there, you know why, because otherwise it goes to ban phase again, they'll take it away, and then he's going to go to somewhere else down the list. So going for Apollo Athena again, that's quite happy. Coast are comfortable there. I'm interested to see what SK do against this lane now, because they lost last lane.
Will they ban out the Loki to go up against that Ra for the free farm, or will they ban out the Chang'e to try to make sure that Ra is able to at least go even or win that lane? It's a tough pick for them. They have a final pick remaining before they go into their final ban. What is it going to be for SK Gaming? I would expect it to be their support.
I expect a Hunter.
Hunter. Well, they have reels on Artemis.
That's true.
So I think they would.
Sorry, not Hunter. I don't know where I was going with that. Jungler.
Jungler.
I get that. Jungler.
Yeah, potentially their jungler here, or the Geb. I mean, Geb would be probably my assumption here, and it will indeed be the Geb locked in. They're going to go ahead and lock down the dual lane, because if Geb gets banned out, then they're dealing with perhaps the strongest dual lane available in Athena Apollo with an Artemis, and Artemis without a natural escape could very well benefit from the Stone Shield of Geb.
The one big thing about this, though, Hubwa got through, and there we go. Hubwa
and
gets
got instantly banned out.
That makes perfect sense for both teams to ban him away. Now, don't want to give it to either side, really. Yeah. And SK Gaming decide they're not going to be playing it, so take it away.
Indeed, indeed. So taking a look at the final ban for Team Coast here, looking probably to ban out a jungler. Who's it going to be? I would be looking at Hun bots and Mercury here. I assume that they're going to ban out the bots just because the AoE disruption paired with Geb is quite potent, and then the chain stun from Artemis to back it up. But it could be a ban out on a Mercury just to prevent hypercarry late game going against that Apollo. And Thor does not scale as aggressively as Mercury does, so will indeed be the Mercury banned out.
I mean, they'll be comfortable with how it went first game with Tyr. Tyr didn't really get involved overall in that game. He looked for aggression, but didn't really find it overall.
It didn't dictate the pace of the game.
It wasn't like the Cloud9 game.
Right.
Like Zeros dictated the pace of the game with that Tyr pick.
Which is what you look for in a pick.
Yeah, exactly. But he wasn't able to really get himself going overall in that last game overall. I'd like to see SK Gaming, though, overall, go back to what they did against Cloud9, really, and try and make sure they focus on the duo lane. Take down Shaggy Shank the way they focus Youngbei in the game against Cloud9. If they do that again, I think this could be a weakness that they could exploit of Team Coast.
Ice is going to be locked in for SK Gaming. Coast taking a look at Chang'e and Ao Kwang. So as we expected, it will be the Chang'e most likely going up against the Ra in the solo lane. It's a lane that goes advantage towards Chang'e, but Chang'e doesn't bring anywhere near as much to the table in the later stages of the game as the Ra can. So it's definitely an early game focused pick, but with the Apollo, so should synergize quite well.
I mean, whoa.
And locking them in.
Yeah, I mean, Chang'e goes in. Now we're going to go over to SK Gaming. And what are they going to
They're going to snap pick Thanatos. They're going to snap pick Thanatos because Thanatos?
I got nothing. I'm sorry. I'm done.
I mean, Thanatos is not a jungler that scales exceptionally well into the late game. It will bring a lot of early game presence for them. They're going to be relying very heavily on Artemis in the late game to be doing the primary amount of their damage. Thanatos does, of course, bring to the table a lot of pressure and can chase down the Apollo quite well with his Scent of Death, I believe it's called, his passive that gives him the extra run speed on his number 2. However, I mean, and I guess pairing it with a Geb is quite nice for Thanatos. It does allow you to bail him out of fights. But what does Thanatos really have to do past about the 28-30 minute mark? Granted, it is a Thor on the other side. And there it is, the SK Gaming logo.
Symbol.
Will it be enough?
The Thanatos pick, just to go over that for you guys at home as well, all the players like Cloud9 and TSM knew coming into this that SK have been practicing Thanatos.
Yeah,
it's been mentioned.
No big secret.
And people were like, oh, maybe they'll play it. I'm like, really? They're going to play Thanatos? And like, yeah, they've been practicing it quite a lot. So it's not too unusual to see it being picked up here. However, to be picked in such a high-profile match, they must have really planned this one very, very well.
Indeed, but we are moving into game now. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and introduce your teams. They are on the left side of your screen, the bottom side of your mini-map. And wearing the blue trunks, it is Coast Gaming. It'll be Carino in the mid lane as Ao Kwang, Variety in the solo as Chang'e, Ninja Bobat in the jungle for Thor, and their duo lane, once again, Princess Tomato and Shaggy Shank as Athena and Apollo. Their opponents today, SK Gaming, an old name in esports, a young crew. We'll see if they can take it to Coast as they are down 1-0. It is, of course, a best of 5. Their roster is Maniac will be your solo laner as Ra. Badja and Real ZX will be combining for the duo lane, Geb and Artemis. In the jungle will be Zeros as Thanatos, and their mid laner, Captain Twig as Isis.
So let's look right at the start. This Captain Twig has started with that magical potion of might again in that lane. So that means they're looking for aggression early on as Captain Twig. And with the likes of Thanatos in the jungle, that's to be expected, Bark, because that's where Thanatos strives. If he can get going ahead early, get himself a nice early lead, he can deal a lot of damage and burst people down very quickly.
Probably one of the things that is most underrated about Ao Kwang, although the god is extremely potent and is favored in pretty much all levels of play, is his ability to basically aggress against the enemy jungler at the orange or red buff, respectively, depending on the side of the map, as well as preventing early invades. Tornado's just such a strong ability at the early stages of the game. And when you pick a god like Thanatos, he is fairly susceptible to these early game invades, so it may not be a bad choice for Coast to go in there and try to zone them out from orange.
This is cute what they just did there. SK Gaming saw that Coast did this earlier on in the tournament and went aggressive on that, so they warded over the wall to make sure they could see them coming in just as they warded down, so they knew there was going to be no threat coming in from Coast Gaming at the start of this game overall. Nothing unusual in terms of starts other than that. I mean, we're going to see Thanatos starting off with that Death's Toll. Zero's going to be taking that one off just for the early game damage, and that's when you take that, basically, just so you can go aggressive early on and deal a little bit more.
Yeah, one thing to basically keep your eyes out for Coast here is Variety needs to win this lane heavily versus the Ra to make this Chang'e pick worthwhile. She does fall off into the mid-game, well, really into the later stages of the game, where really she's basically a walking ultimate. There's not much she can do once the Hunter gets enough crit to just 2 or 3 shot her. The dance to avoid damage is just not going to be enough.
Yeah, it's not left-hand side, though. A lot of aggression coming out from Shaggy Shank. He rolled into Reels there and has to force Reels out from an odd angle overall. And you can see the aggression from Tomato and Shaggy Shank in this lane. Badger's having to juke out and wait for that minion wave to get him out of pressure.
Yeah, and early game here, it is probably in favor of, it's hard to not take SK. Thanatos and Ra, just such strong early game presence. Isis as well. Only place where Coast probably has the better early game is going to be in the dual lane, where Shaggy Shank's Apollo is just so good. Yeah,
I'm going to see Zeros rotating to the jungle here, looking to try and steal something away if possible, or go around the back and try and land a Scythe on Carino, because that's an available option to him as well if he can land that. But for the most part, there's a ward safely in their own jungle, though, right now from Team Coast, so they know where Zeros is.
So here we have Variety going in on to Maniac, and it is coming in now that we're getting it in our ear. This is the first time that Variety has played Chang'e in tournament play.
To step that out in a final game when there's this much money on the line, are you serious? Just to throw it out there randomly, like, okay, I'll just go Chang'e.
Yeah, really a god that Maniac is known for. As you keep on mentioning, it's kind of that raw Aphrodite Chang'e, but here it's going to be Variety. But does Maniac know how to really handle this matchup?
I don't know. That's going to be the interesting thing, because Maniac will know how the matchup plays out himself, because he plays it for himself. So we'll see. Zero steals away the speed buff, though, and now the aggression on Tomato, who's overextended alone, and the rest of the team did collapse in time. And now they can look for Shaggy, who's going to rotate away. Zero's getting first blood is important for a Thanatos jungle.
Huge, and actually he's going to be able to aggress Bobat at the small camp here. Maybe even look to steal a couple of these away. Oh, a lot of damage coming out, forcing out the leap away from Bobat and Zeros. We'll find yet another camp to continue what is starting to look like a bit of a snowball here for Thanatos. If he can find another jungle camp steal or even a kill, he's going to be in a great position looking to backstab Carino now. Got the big push again. Do they have it? There's a damage coming through. That scythe lets him know he's there. Carino knows he's in a bit of trouble. Still just shades away from that level 5 as Zeros, which would have almost guaranteed a kill into that mid lane.
I mean, as this game goes on, keep an eye on Zeros, because he's going to be looking for that ridiculous damage. You have to respect him in the early stages of the game. And when these guys play each other week in, week out, during solo queues, during tournament plays, they don't often see a Thanatos, right?
Indeed.
So you're not used to the amount of burst he can do during these early stages of the game. And so they've got to be more respectful of him. And at the start of the game, they gave up Tomato, wasn't aware of it, quite clearly.
Yeah, I mean, one thing to look for in a Thanatos is that normally when you see a Thanatos play in most levels of play, he's going to be using that ultimate to secure kills. When you look at high-level play, more often than not, you're going to see Thanatoses that use the ultimate just simply to set up the stun and guarantee that #1 death site, where really the majority of the damage comes from.
I mean, when you look at the Hovering Death from Thanatos, it's very similar to the Thor's Anvil of Dawn. You know, he goes to the sky, comes down with a stun, and then looks to press aggression on from there. And so they might use that to the later stages of the game. But for now, if anybody gets low, they need to be careful because the passive, you know, the Harvest of the Soul is going to be available for Thanatos. That's going to be really big.
His ultimate is available. He's sitting just off the right side of mid. There is no ward spotting him out currently. They have to assume that he's here, but Carino already sitting at about 3/4 health. He can be in a lot of trouble here if Zeros is able to get a good angle.
Yeah, Twig just needs to get a good Spirit Ball off here on Carino. If he can do that, then Zeros is going to come in and clean up, basically. That's what they're looking to do.
Oh, here it is. Hovering Death being channeled now, Carino. But Ninja Bobat is there for the counter engage, and I think that seeing that now, Zeros is going to go ahead and ult away from that. A timely rotation back to the mid lane for Ninja Bobat.
Yeah, it was. I mean, Ninja Bobat, though, only level 4. Because he had his buff stolen away, there's a 2-level lead. Now one that Bobat soaked up some experience in middle lane overall, but that's going to give him a small advantage and make sure that Thor, now everyone knows he's level 5, he's looking for right-hand side, he's looking for Wrath.
Yep, going up into the air, and as we mentioned, Maniac going to take a double stun now. Chang'e, this is going to be a huge kill for them. Chang'e is quite low. Snipe coming through, but dodged by Variety. Smart play there by him, and he was actually falling behind in levels quite severely there. That's a big kill for them.
Yeah, it really was overall. They needed that to get themselves back into this one because Thanatos had done some early aggression on. Obviously, Chang'e was a little bit behind. So was Ninja Bobat in the jungle because he lost his speed buff. So that was very important for him to pick that up, but now it looks like SK Gaming rotating again. Twig coming round, going to get seen by a ward though, but blue buff is available, trying to steal away more.
Yeah, you can see there on that graphic down below, Zero's a very, very aggressive jungler, 3.6 KDA. Ninja Bobat just under 3 himself, so not the highest KDAs that you'll see in the tournament, but Ninja Bobat has way outperformed his stat line. I think is a big story there.
Yeah, definitely really outperformed it overall. So Team Coast and SK Gaming in this one, SK looking very strong in the early stages. I'm just worried about Thanatos late game. That's my issue right now.
Yeah, but I mean, it is working so far. Granted, he didn't find a kill with his first ultimate, but he has another one online shortly, starting to make his way over to the left side of the map. He's also sitting on over 2,000 gold in hand right now, but hasn't gone back to the base. Wants to find one more kill before he does. Ultimate still not online, still floating around this left side of the map. Wants to get a kill on the Shaggy Shank and start the kind of helping out his duo lane here, where Badger and Reels certainly had some trouble in the last game.
That's right. I mean, his ultimate's 90 seconds as well. The Hovering Death available every 90 seconds, so he can keep looking for those opportunities wherever he can. On top of that, you know, you've got as an example, Purification Beads comes up just as often.
2,200 gold available now for Zeros. It should be a penetration boots to finish up. No, I'm sorry. It'll be the cooldown reduction boots here. So
for Badger again, I'm so surprised that he keeps going for this. Like, Badger keep going for the Shoes of Focus. It didn't pay off for him sometimes. He can fall behind because of this. This is the issue I feel from that. Oh, big snipe right hand side from Maniac. Not going to connect. His Variety just dances away from it. That was really important to avoid that. Now that's on cooldown though. Keep an eye on Thor and see if they go for a rotation on him one more time.
No. It's not the cooldown boots on Badger. It's the cooldown boots on Zeros, on the Thanatos.
Oh, on Zeros. Oh, right. Okay, yeah. I mean, to have that ability to be able to come up and be more available, 15% reduction is going to help him out for the most part. But these ones are the ones that are aggressive for the ones here, basically, to do that overall. I mean, obviously, with the silence in the late game as well, that AoE silence could pay dividends against some of these mages that Team Coast have.
And it's likely to be the Jotun's Wrath on the back of this, especially with his #2 granting him extra protection, or sorry, extra penetration as well. Between the two of them, it's a reasonable amount of penetration, more than the boots would give you normally. Rotation from Reels is here as they try to aggress into the enemy jungle. Prince Mid has a decent angle here. Hovering Death is there, crashing in on Ninja Bobat. There comes a Death Sight, and the silence as well, but peeled away. Doesn't matter. Captain Twig over the wall.
Good Spirit Ball.
Here comes the ultimate to zone them out. Doesn't matter. Spirit Ball secured the kill already.
I love the split as well. When you saw the Spirit Tempest come out from Carino there, they couldn't do anything about it. They just walked away from it, knew exactly where the angle was, and good rotation from SK Gaming, picking themselves up another kill. Things are working out okay so far. Maybe a Gold Fury opportunity here.
Yeah, and Twig gonna shove in the mid lane here. I was expecting it myself as well, but not to be the case. They'll just shove in the mid lane and look to maybe just put some more pressure around the map. Both main buffs up, red and orange. Will SK have an opportunity to seal them away? Doesn't look like it, but look at their warding around this red buff. They definitely want to make sure that they keep Maniac safe.
Yeah, they want to try and keep him safe as possible in this lane overall. And you can see Captain Twig just pushing the mid lane. Badger going to soak up some experience, allow Reels in the solo lane to be able to like get some decent free experience on his own. He's able to deal with Shaggy Shank this time round, Bart, because he's not behind.
Yeah, indeed, that's right. And Artemis, similar to Apollo, does quite well ahead. Granted, Apollo can do a bit better with that passive steroid, as we mentioned, just really steroiding his DPS. But Reels, you know, is definitely rolling now. And moving into the hyper stages of the late game, this is where you want your Artemis to be if you're playing for late. But they have a Thanatos, so they can't really go for that super late game. If they do, they're going to be relying entirely on Reels. And Artemis, not the most resilient character, and with a Thor, Apollo, and Ao Kwang available, as well as Tomato, to set up that CC chain, that's just a lot of damage. It's going to be hard to see coming.
I mean, the one thing about this Thanatos build, because he's going for the cooldown reduction, he's not going to be the damage dealer. He's going to lack penetration, but what he is going to bring, he's going to bring that AoE silence. He's going to bring that stun with the hovering death to the team as well. So in a way, he's a lot like a Thor jungle to an extent. If you think about the wall does the stun, which is very similar to a sort of AoE silence to an extent, and then you've got the dunk, which is a stun as well for both of them.
Yeah, I think we're going to end up seeing the Jotun's Wrath into Magi's Blessing build here for Zeros, would be my expectation. Go ahead and get a little bit of survivability. As you mentioned, going to be primarily focusing on utility in the mid stages of this game. Still needs to dominate in this early game stage, which he has done to some effect.
He's done okay, yeah.
And done quite well for himself, in fact. Sitting at level 10, keeping parity with the enemy mid laner, looking pretty good. But as we mentioned, it's going to be likely the Jotun's Wrath into Magi's Blessing, just to make sure that he can continue to stay in those fights and find those big silences, which is probably the best part about picking a Thanatos.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the AoE silence is going to pay dividends against a Chunga, against Neo Kwang, if they can't use their abilities. Even against, you know, Athena, if she can't taunt, you can't get away.
Maybe most about the Athena, especially when it comes to zoning out Athena from objectives. You throw out that silence is going to prevent her from being able to dash in. And looking at what happened last game with Princess Tomato, he does have the Hog 3, but that second ability item not online yet. You know, if he doesn't go for any kind of movement ability or the creeping curse, you know, it's going to be tough for him to make his way in and really secure kills with that silence.
Yeah, I mean, the Soul Reap as well, you know, the silence being there, when it's that is max level, it's 1.5 seconds on that silence.
Long, yeah.
In a game like Smite and the speed that this game goes at, that is a long time.
Yeah, it is indeed. And Thanatos, one of those gods that is just, not only is he very like a very kind of cool kit that has lots of synergy with itself, he also kind of brings a couple of different play styles to the table. And as we keep on kind of mentioning, he's able to transition from this early game burst style into really a bit more of a utility jungler in the later stages of the game, where Thor is really relegated to the same position throughout the entire game.
Bobat got destroyed there in the hovering death. He's popped. It's not even going to be needed as Twig secures the kill. He's going to dunk down a Carino, though. The silence lands, but good taunt from Tomato is going to disengage for now as the tornado comes out in the shield from Badger. But that was a free kill, and that was just nicely played from SK Gaming to catch Team Coast in the rotation to mid camps.
Can they capitalize on this? Looks like they're going to take
like it.
their skills to the gold. Fury here. Princess Tomato trying to get his way in. Real's going to zone him out. Boar just dropped preemptively. Apollo taken to the skies. Not going to be in time. Boar comes crashing as Princess Tomato tries to engage. Crashing in. Big time outgo ultimate. Wombo combo coming through from Coast Gaming, but is it going to be enough? No, down to just yet. Athena ultimate being channeled as well. Real's EX starting to fall. He's looking low. Badger already down. Trying to disengage his SK Gaming. Spirit Ball hits too, and that's going to be enough to get them out of there for now.
I don't know.
Tomato. No, Reals is going to dodge it. Is it going to be enough? Does he have a taunt available? Going under tower. Getting quite low. Here comes Zero. Oh, Deathside does so much damage.
Zeros for cleanup.
Trouble. Zeros has a lot of damage, has all of the speed.
He's going for Tomato.
The hello health of Princess Tomato coming crashing in now as a Thor, and this should be a spill for Zeros if he makes his way to this one. Incredible plays, but he will not indeed. But what a series of events.
But wait for it, because I don't know if Maniac's finished. He's going to continue the aggression, speed himself up. I don't think he's going to find much more than the Celestial Beam on the minion wave. But big pickups overall there for both sides, honestly.
Yeah, it was indeed. I mean, you know, unfortunately that Thor ultimate missed, which allowed a little bit more time for that Thanatos to juke around, did find that kill and allowed for Maniac to rotate in. But both the solo laners over in the left side lane now, and, you know, do you just rotate your Apollo over to the right and try to push down the tower really quickly? No, of course you will.
It's an opportunity, but by the time you get over there, you'll see them all rotate back again, and then the Honda's going to be back. But I mean, because based off that fight and how this game's gone so far, though, even though it's 5-4 in terms of kills, SK Gaming just under a 3,000 gold lead, just over a 3,500 experience lead, and you can see that they're starting to have control of this game. And Zeros, this Thanatos pick is slowly working out. He's 3-1-2. He's been involved in every kill.
Yeah, you got to be a bit worried if you're Team Coast right now. You basically had that team fight go as well as you could have ever hoped for it to go, landing all of your big abilities. That's just wasn't enough to take out SK, only finding 2 kills on the back of that.
I mean, it looked so good from him as well. I mean, when that taunt landed from Athena and you saw Carino Spirit Tempest connect, I was like, oh my goodness, they're all going to die.
In a lot of trouble now is Variety on the right side lane, slowed out by Maniac, has already used the damage of Void. Ultimate coming out, but he is dead to rights here. Zeros will land that last auto attack, and, well, there's a snowball going on, and it's on the back of Thanatos. Jotun's Wrath done. Next item should be coming away any minute. 800 gold to his name. In a lot of trouble.
Nearly got caught out of position on the rotation back. Captain Twig knew he'd be coming back, and you can see Zeros rotating around the backside of him now. So if you can actually see him in mid, this mid tower is very low as well. So maybe they're going to rotate around to the left-hand side. I'm not too sure what Zeros is thinking about. I think they're going to push him.
He has Hovering Death available as well. Maybe going to try to poke with the Death Sight. Not going to be able to get it. He's now going to turn his attention to the left side lane where Shaggy Shank is sitting under 50% HP. Zeros ultimate coming through. Shaggy Shank dashing out. Now going to get stunned out into Death Sight. Uses speeds nicely, but it doesn't matter because Reap Souls is there. Princess Tomato in a lot of trouble as well as Boar is out. He CC'd in place, and down he goes as well. SK Gaming looking very strong in game number 2.
They're bringing out the snowball of Thanatos. The strength of the early game is paying dividends for them now. I know with 13 minutes in, and generally the mid stage is starting to fall off, but Zeros is strong. He's got the feed he needed to get himself going. 5, 1, and 3 involved in every single kill, and he's just hunting for more in their enemy jungle.
It should be an easy kill on the mid tower as well. Zero's going to go ahead and creep skip here and pull this wave back. And rotating in as Captain Twig, and that's an easy peasy 2-tower kill on the back of a single pick. Well, actually, it ended up being 2 kills there, but Apollo notably going down, and it's actually turned into a large advantage now for SK Gaming, 13.5 minutes in, with a 5,700 gold lead and almost 10,000 in experience.
This is really smart from SK Gaming, though, Bob, coming into this, because, you know, they lost game 1 convincingly. Team Coast put on a great performance over at SK Gaming. Didn't look great in that one, to be fair. And coming into game 2, they brought out a special tactic, bringing out Thanatos, something we've not really seen in competitive before. And they're putting the pressure on.
Yeah, they're going to go ahead and steal away the blue buff on the left side as well. Tier 1 tower down. Going to be tough for Apollo to contest this. Shaggy Shank looking to do what he can. Throws a ward over the wall, but needs to be careful. This Thanatos is just so big, sitting at level 15. But still being out-farmed by Twig in the mid.
I mean, it's Captain Twig after all. He's a great farmer. Nope, Hovering Death being popped by Zeros. They're going aggressive. You can see the rollout from Badger being channeled. Ninja Bobat's going to the sky to make sure he doesn't get focused on there. And now immediately the Hovering Death ends from Zero. So a reset for now, but an ult for an ult, not too bad.
Does Coast have a jungler?
I'm not seen Ninja
Bobat has been basically
they first
nothing.
Picked him.
First pick Thor and not getting much out of it is really, really dangerous. And you can see across the board, they're down 1,000 gold.
Down 1,000 gold across the board, going to be a big ask for them now. I mean, 14 minutes in, Thanatos is very big. To be able to deal with him at this stage of the game, what do you look to do? I mean, you're looking for Athena taunts more than anything.
And it looks like he's actually, well, will he build to the Magi's Blessing, or is it going to be something super aggressive like a Hide of the Urchin that just gives him a bit more, a bit less, you know, survivability in terms of keeping the CC out, but will it be the Urchin? And if he gets the Urchin, he should be able to build the stacks pretty quickly.
He could. I mean, I like the idea of the Magi's though, because that means he can go into the team fights, and if Athena taunts him, it's going to blow the Magi's Blessing, but then he can use his taunt in response, his silence in response, and AoE silence the whole team.
That's true, and they don't actually have a lot of cooldowns that they can pop that bubble with that aren't meaningful. Ninja Bobat, he could use the wall or the ultimate. Neither of those are something you want to throw out just to get rid of a Magi's Blessing, although it would likely be the Thor's too. And then Princess Tomato's, stun, definitely wouldn't want to use that taunt. And you also wouldn't want to use the Mez on Apollo, as it's such a big part of his survivability. So Magi's Blessing, most likely to be the case here, but it could be the Urchin.
Well, Gore Fury is coming online. SK Gaming, looking at the positions of where their wards are, they know the entrances that are coming in from Team Coast here. Coast has some wards in the area as well, and they're trying to position around this Gore Fury, because I think this is going to be a key to the game right now. If this Gore Fury goes in favor of SK for free, I think SK are going to take this game, no problem.
Yeah, they're kind of leash resetting it here, throwing in pot shots at it.
They want to fight.
Yeah, they want to get a fight, I agree. And Badger, notably, not tanking here. It's going to be Zero using his life steal, because Badger wants to be able to leap in there. Now auto-attacking. He has a blink one, so he's going to need to disengage for a bit to be able to easily initiate. Starting to get low. Here comes Princess Tomato. Only finds a 2-man taunt. Is it going to be enough? Yes, Chang'e ultimate is big. Here comes Yao Kuang ultimate as well. One down, up in the air is Zero's, but so is Thor. Thor comes crashing down. Here comes Zero's crashing in as well. But this looks like Coast fight for now. In a lot of trouble is SK Gaming. They have to find some way to turn this around. There comes a window for variety, but is it going to be enough?
Shaggy Shank gets stunned out by the Spirit Ball, but Captain Twiggy using the Aegis to try and delay time. Big tough from Tomato, and now Maniac's going to run for his life, but Shaggy cleans that one up. D aside for Team Coast.
That's huge.
From the backside, I said this Gore Fury was so important, but...
Yeah, I mean, that's massive for them. They're going to be able to take this gold Fury. They're going to be able to cut into the lead a bit more. XP difference was once 10,000, now under 6K. Gold will be down under 2K with this Gold Fury coming down as well. And if they have a good look at the map, they may be able to push into the mid lane, but they're going to be safe. And Shaggy Shank's going to rotate back and push his lane out.
I'll be honest, I mean, TSM and Cloud9 talked about the Thanatos pick from SK Gaming and the fact that they were looking to use that one.
They banned it out.
But the thing about that is that when they knew SK were doing that, I spoke to Sio, and Sio said, just let them play it. We're not going to ban it out. Let them play it.
And then they did ban it out.
But then they did ban it out as well. And I was like, okay, because they said, we'll just let it go to late game and deal with, let it fall off. And if this goes the way it's going right now, will Thanatos be able to stay involved as he has been? I mean, he's been involved in every kill.
That's a tough death right there. I mean, that's a tough place for them to lose a big team fight.
That is.
You're kind of running out of runway here for the Thanatos to continue to be effective.
Yeah, and the longer the game goes on, the less effective he's going to be. He's become more of a CC bot than anything else. We'll see if he can continue to keep his team involved in this one. But 9-10 right now, if you see on the terms of the stats right now, you can see top kills is Apollo from Shaggy Shank on the coast side, but top gold and top player damage is Variety. Doing a good work on that Chang'e that he's never played before in competitive gaming.
Yeah, doing quite well. Yeah, hasn't played him in any of the 10 weeks of qualifying. Mid camp's respawning. Right side does go the way of Zeros on SK. Badge and Captain Twig going to be able to take the left side as well. So SK starting to get yet more of a foothold here. Mid tower already down. Now Zero's going to try to rotate out of here. Actually, the wall going to miss, but Ninja Bobak going in anyway. Just not going to be enough damage.
Round the back, gonna find 2 members of Tomato. Zeros goes to the sky as well. Spitball's not gonna catch. Badger's still hovering. He's looking for someone hovering. Def does connect with Carino, and he's actually used the Spirit Tempest, but he's still gonna go down. And Carino goes down for nothing.
Yeah, and Bobat actually disengaged there. He took to the skies right as Hovering Death came out, trying to counter-initiate on top of that Thanatos, but it just wasn't enough.
Nope, wasn't enough at all. Now they're gonna be able to pressure onto the middle tower. Apollo split pushing on the left-hand side, but I'm sure they'll give that one up if they can get this mid tower down for free. Variety and Princess Tomato defending, and Reels gets over to defend this tower. Shaggy has to recall to help tier 2.
Yeah, he's just fallen back, and you know, I think he just wanted to maybe reset his positioning in that lane. It was very far pushed up, and Artemis rotation wasn't going to make it in time, so why not go ahead and fall back? Taking a look, Bobat actually going for a very similar path as Zeros here with that cloak, likely to build into the Magic's Blessing of his own.
So we'll see as this one goes on. I mean, you can see the interesting thing from SK Gaming. They've gone for a lot of actives. Meanwhile, Team Coast haven't really picked up that many. I mean, we see only 3 fully maxed Greater Purification beads. Meanwhile, on the other side, you can see Aegis's and Purification beads already fully used up.
Beads and Aegis and beads and Aegis. Oh, Zeros. Yeah, it is High to the Urchin.
He's going to be High to the Urchin. That's an interesting one. I mean, he's going to get the stacks rate. He's going to make him tankier, more survivable in the fights, and give him extra protections overall.
It's a very cost-efficient item.
It is cost-efficient, but is he going to get time to get those stacks now? That's my question. Before he gets bursted down.
Right. I mean, he has the 11 kills and assists to his name right now, and he's going to need to get about another 10 more to really maximize this item. And
that's a big ask.
They're still pre 20 minutes. I think it's possible, although it's going to definitely take some setup from the other players. Captain Twig notably going to be the one that needs to follow those Spirit Balls, or follow up that Hovering Death with effective Spirit Balls to really find the kills.
Well, now with the Gulf Fury down, both teams are just looking for an opportunity to engage a fight if possible, or just farm for the most part, because all the jungle is down. Both mid-camps are down as well. And no side, I don't think either side feels very confident right now after how that last engagement went. I mean, maybe Coast, but they knew they had a deficit, right?
Yeah, indeed. Coast a bit behind, but look at Princess Tomato versus Badger. Those Midas Boots Watcher's Gift combination really paying out. He is ahead about 400 gold over Badger. So, you know, like you said, the cooldown boots, will it be enough? You know, and we haven't really seen Badger being super active around the map. I'm not sure the cooldown boots are really paying dividends.
I agree. I mean, the one thing to know about these cooldown boosts as well is that that extra gold generation can go towards wards. And if you don't have as many wards on the map as a support, oh, that's a great initiation coming out from Coast there. A lot of damage onto Badger of all people, but the Wingers from Twig going to force them back. But look who's going up.
Apollo and Thor both come crashing in. Zeros is taken to the Hovering Death as well, looking for a target. Big Isis ultimate coming out. Here comes the Alcohol ultimate as well. Crashing in now, Zero finds 1 kill. That's 1 stack for him. And going to continue in there. Shaggy Shank finds a kill on the Captain Twig. Princess Tomato quite low. Zero gets a double kill in this
big
fight.
silence.
And this is a big silence indeed. He finds the 2 kills, gets his stacks, but very low as SK Gaming. Not sure they can continue this. Variety going to take some damage from Maniac. Auto attack, third auto attack, finds the kill.
Nice, Maniac.
And just like that, it's a 3-player wipe in exchange for just Captain Twig in favor of SK Gaming.
But Zeros isn't done yet, but the So Beautiful comes out from Shaggy Shank, forcing the shield out from Badger as well. So now they've just got to play safe for the time being. I mean, 2 damage dealers still alive, Carino and Shaggy Shank. They're going to heal up very, very quickly as well, especially Shaggy with that Devourer's Gauntlet.
Yeah, so the additional 6 protections now for Magical and Physical coming out for Zeros with the 3 kills and that. Ooh, SK.
They're really going to rush this?
Oh, SK. There is no ultimate available for Carino. There's not much he can do. It looks like they've just baited him into it. Can they find the boar or root? Doesn't matter. There's the silence coming out. And down he goes. There's a Hovering Death as well. Zero's going to continue on Shaggy Shank. There's... Oh, and the snipe coming through as well.
Great snipe.
Is it going to be enough? Hitting his number 2. It will indeed. He gets the assist. Another stack on the Urchin. Zeros continues to snowball through this game. Thor's taking to the skies, though. Can they find him? They cannot.
Misses.
Another missed ultimate from Bobat.
Good wall, though, so that's going to prevent Zeros from getting away. He's going to use the silence to prevent the damage from Bobat. But now Bobat's getting turned up by Zeros. Meanwhile, Fire Giant be done. Can Tomato get there? He can't. SK Gaming get the Fire Giant. And now Zeros is rotating onto Tomato as the team looks to retreat. But Zeros in trouble.
Zeros is
away,
not in that much trouble, it looks like there. Man, what play. And you know, another thing that we didn't really mention that we probably should have noticed is that Thanatos pick coming on the back of the Thor first pick, and he does really, really well against Berserker Barrage. The silence coming out just stops him in his tracks, and we saw it there.
So it used exactly really well for him as well, so not surprising. I mean, the best thing is we saw Thor first pick to take it away from Zeros more than anything else, and in response to that, we're going to see Thanatos, you know, last pick from SK Gaming, and it is doing work right now. You can see he's level 19, Zeros level 19 on that Thanatos. Meanwhile, Ninja Bobat on that that. Thor, only level 15. That's a big disparity between junglers.
It is a very big disparity. And Chinsai is going to be coming out shortly here for Zeros. And that's going to be probably, once this item is done, where he's going to cap out in terms of his viability, in terms of as a massive damage dealer into the late stages of the game. But with a level 12 Princess Tomato and a level 15 Ninja Bobat with a defensive item still not finished, he can still be extremely aggressive against them, as well as Variety, who hasn't stacked much HP to this point. In fact, none. Breastplate coming out, but not a lot of HP in that item either until he finishes it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, so it's 16 to 10 right now in favor of SK Gaming. Gold, 4,000 in the lead for SK Gaming. 10,000 experience lead. Gold Fury being started once again.
They'll get it.
Coast don't want to contest.
They're going to try to get Shaggy Shank split push going onto the tier 1 on the right side, and they're going to get it, but he's going to need to get tier 1 and tier 2 and probably a Phoenix as well to make that trade worthwhile.
That's right, because now they've got the Gold Fury and they're going to siege left-hand side for a tier 2. Keep an eye on Zeros. Look at him rotate around the back while his team sieges, because if you can catch somebody out of position there, it's going to cause them an issue. And they're quite happy to push on this Phoenix and let Apollo split push. He's not going to get the Phoenix in time.
Cataclysm hits 2, the ultimate coming through as well. Creating a lot of trouble. Hovering Death going to come crashing down on the Outquang. Down he goes, the Zeros. Finding yet another stack. Variety now going to be the one in trouble. Signing him out as Ninja Bobat, but just disengaging is Zeros. Perfectly happy to do so, and they'll go ahead and take this Phoenix. As tier 2 does fall, in fact, to Apollo in the right side. Will we see the recalls coming out to stop this? Yes, Real's going to go ahead and fall back and push him away from the Phoenix. They'll take the Phoenix trade.
They'll send Reels back. Reels will be able to defend against Apollo, no problem whatsoever. Apollo already recalled. Shaggy knew that was going to be the case. They're going to rotate straight away with mid lane. Ra with those heals going to be able to sustain them up as they do this. Variety's got to make a big play with Princess Tomato here to try and keep themselves in this.
They will actually defend that tier 2, so a little bit more gold
Apollo's
going
up.
their way. Apollo's going to become crashing
going
on the backside of Captain Twig. Do they have enough damage, though, with that ultimate as well, being able to heal them back up? Raw Snipe comes through. Thor taking to the air. Can he find Captain Twig? Doesn't matter. Variety already down. Spin to win. Will kick and kill Captain Twig, but is it going to be enough? More Fire Giant buffs go down.
It was a 2 for 1. 2 for 1 in favor of SK Gaming again, and now they can siege once more because Raw's still alive. Maniac still has those heals. Badger tanking it up for the team. They're going to get a tier 2. Push on for the Phoenix. They're in good control. They could just rotate right for the other tier 2.
Yeah, and they have 2,000 gold sitting on Badger, Zeros, and Maniac right now in hand. Big items going to be coming out shortly.
So right now, I mean, they're in a great position to just continue sieging. Bobat round the back, looking for an opportunity. Big taunt coming out from Tomato on into one member, but Zeros is going aggressive on Bobat. Bobat has to use the hammer of the wall. Meanwhile, Reels takes out Shaggy and the dunk down from Zeros, looking for the aggression on Tomato one more time. If he drops down, this looks like a second Phoenix for sure.
Yeah, second Phoenix going to fall. No major map objectives available besides the base here to really try to capitalize on killing the tank there. So SK going to go ahead and fall back and look to take and backdoor this tier 2 on the right side. And now sitting at almost 2,300 gold on both Maniac Zeros and Badger. 1,300 gold in hand for Reels. This is a lot of items about to come out. Zeros is going to be able to finish off these Shinsais and then build into yet another item here. And we'll see what he likes to go. I mean, they may look to just go for the kill and pick up the Titan's Bane.
This is a slow, methodical win from SK Gaming now. They've taken the Fire Giant. They pushed down left, took down the towers and the Phoenix. Pushed down middle, took the towers and the Phoenix. Taking the last tower on the right. Go back to base. Fire Giant up soon. Take that Phoenix and this game.
Yeah, I don't know if I buy that it's a slow, methodical game for them. Only 25 minutes in and only one Phoenix remaining. True. I mean, it's been a breakneck pace for them on the back of Zeros, and he's going to finish off the Chinsais and build into Lightblade.
Look how many wards.
Is that going to be Fatalis?
It looks like it could be Fatalis.
Oh my god.
It looks like he's going for the extra attack speed as well, just to rush that one in. But Zero's played this really well, honestly. 10, 2, and 8, involved in 18 out of 20 kills overall for his team. And, you know, everyone coming in is like, Thanatos? What?
Are we going to see a Thanatos respect ban? That opens up Rom and Osiris. They can't respect ban Thanatos.
They can't respect ban. So they're going to have to deal with it somehow. What do you put in the jungle to deal with it?
I think you draft the Geb. You make sure they don't get the Geb with the Thanatos.
Draft Geb with Thanatos and play safe early?
No. Make sure that if SK is going to draft Thanatos, you draft the Geb over the Athena, because make sure that he can't get bailed out by that Geb Stone Shield.
That's true.
And I think that's another reason why you see him not building into the Magi's Blessing. A Stone Shield there to bail him out of CC.
That's true. So if they do take that as well, so you're going to make sure you take that one away, but then you have to play it safe early game as well, I guess. You know,
or invade against it.
That's
true.
They
had the Outquang there. They could have tried to invade against him and shut him down a bit earlier than this in his most potent stage of the game. But now it's just gone very, very well for them. And the mid game's been purely dominated on the back of Zeros. I mean, this looks like his first tier game.
Shaggy trying to put the pressure on left-hand side. I mean, you can see the tier 1 tower going down. Falls going up, though, at the same time. But that Cataclysm, like you said, connected. Tomato's in a lot of trouble here. Has to jump out. The dunk down from Bobat. He's not been effective so far. Waxing Moon does connect. But now, across this, you can see the hover come down again from Zeros. And Maniac picks up Bobat.
And I believe at this point his Height of the Urchin is at 8 stacks. So he is looking like he's going to be able to close in on it. 10, 2, and 10 is the slash line for Zero.
It's not easy.
And they're
to
going to
do.
be looking for their final Phoenix here. And he is just a nightmare.
He's chunking everything he sees in his path. The last Phoenix looks like he's going to fall down here in favor of SK Gaming. Shaggy Shank still split, pushing for this other Phoenix, but I don't think it's too little too late.
Back now. Yeah, he's recalling now, and he's going to be here for this defense, but Carino's going to go down, and Ao Kuang's a big factor in being able to keep these fire minions out. This could be the victory for SK.
It looks like he's going to be. I mean, they're going to push on mid lane. The fire minions are starting to whack away on that Titan as well. And you see Zeros picks himself an upper kill for a double kill for himself there. Spirit Ball connects on the backside onto Shaggy Shanks and zoning him out. Meanwhile, Titan still slowly dying. Zero's going to drop down, though, to the whack of the Titan. Credit goes over to Princess Tomato. But game 2 looks like he's going to go all the way to SK Gaming.
Wow. 1-1 now in the best of 5. Ladies and gentlemen, SK Gaming with a dominant victory on the back of Zero's Thanatos there. Ends up at 12, 3, and 10. Height of the Urchin fully stacked and a chin size plus a little more attack speed on top of it.
22 kills he was involved in. 22.
It's quite a few.
That is ridiculous. And for him to get the Height of the Urchin, like I said, he was...
Considering they had 24?
Yeah, I mean, you know, he was not involved in 2 kills, but for him to get the full stacks on a Height of the Urchin as well is a very difficult task after already having as many kills as
a third item. And he got it late as well. Because once you started building into it, he kind of slowed down a bit, but he was able to finish it up. But I think big shout outs go to Captain Twig here. Captain Twig able to whittle down those teammates, allow Thanatos to come in, and really did a great job of capitalizing on the hovering death initiations.
Yeah, I mean, they did a really, really good job of it overall. I think Thanatos being picked up there, it's not something we usually see, but it works well with their team composition and their idea of what they wanted to do here. And a lot of that comes to, you know, Geb being left open a lot of the time because people drafting Athena over Geb. And so Geb's been left around. Badge is a great Geb player anyway. Yeah. And it works well, like you said, with the Thanatos pickup there to be able to give him the shield to make him escape the danger he puts himself in.
We'll see if they are going to, well, are they going to ban a Thanatos here? They're going to take a page out of Cloud9's book. It wasn't that successful.
I've seen worse bans before in the sense, you know, you've seen things. Banatos. Look at you looking for the new lines. Banatos. If they ban that away, who'd you take? I mean, Kosa going to be second pick.
Yeah.
Or did he make themselves first pick so they can ban Thanatos and get something from it?
Hey, there you go, maybe.
That's the only way I can see them.
Mind games.
That's the only way I can see them being able to ban Thanatos and not lose something for that first pick mentality.
That's right. I mean, either if they ban Thanatos, they give up Ram or Osiris almost 100%.
Yeah, and if you give them up, I mean, do you really want to go in against an Osiris or Ram? I mean, Ram is scary.
Yeah.
And Zero's is Osiris.
But is Zero's Osiris as good as Bobats?
That's to be seen.
To be seen.
TBD. To be seen if we see it.
TBD, my friends. Well, that, ladies and gentlemen, will conclude commentary for game number 2. We'll be back with game number 3 shortly, but just before that, we're going to throw it over to Red Eye.